Guys, what the helly? Let's catch up. First things first, I just had a full spiral moment because I don't know why. I thought I accidentally spoiled something on the podcast episode that I filmed last week. And then I had to go back and literally watch them all through to make sure that I didn't. And it's really weird because I unless I dreamt about this, I don't know. I don't know if I dreamt about this or what fucking happened, but I had a full moment that I was like, oh my fucking God, fuck my fucking Chungus life. I literally thought that I had spoiled something completely. And I don't know when I did that then. Clearly I'm having fucking dreams about it. I don't know, but let's catch the fuck up. Let's throw it back first. About 1 year ago, probably to a similar date, honestly, is when I kind of launched the podcast and I made a whole video about F45 versus strength training. And I really went into the fitness classes of HIIT style workouts and all of that versus just getting into PT or strength training on your own in the gym or getting an online coach and all of the things, right? And I still very, very, very strongly believe that F45 should not exist. Honestly, I think it is going bust because all the ones in my area have been closing down. It's actually really funny. It must depend on the suburb because some suburbs literally have no success with having an F45 or a tribe, those styles of gyms. And then literally it can be 20 minutes down the road in a different suburb and they're literally thriving with that gym. So it is really, really confusing. Even a gym just recently closed in my area, but there's one probably 15 minutes away and it's thriving. And I'm it's so confusing based on the demographic, what's doing well. And I think, of course, it comes down to how they, present themselves, what the trainers are like and all of the things. And I'm going to segue for a minute. There's this other new gym. I can't believe how many gyms have been opening, but there's this other new gym that opened up near me and he is giving me the absolute ick. I'm going to share the juicy details in the broadcast because I need to give you a full breakdown story time. But essentially he's opened a private gym and he is a bully. He's literally bullying his clients. And I don't know about you, but you'd never catch me dead walking into a gym with a man. You'd never catch me dead attending a gym session run by a man, but you also would never catch me dead paying to be bullied. I'm not walking into a gym to be fucking berated, which I feel is literally exactly what they do with F45 and strength training classes that are the HIIT based ones. I feel they just come in there and scream at you. And something that I always say to my one-to-ones, I'm never, ever, ever going to scream at you. I'm obviously always going to be passionate. And when you send me through your form videos, I'm going to be yep, change this, do this, all of the things. But I'm never going to fucking scream at you because why do we need to be screamed at to get things done? This is not Tell Me Lies. This is not Stephen and Lucy. If you know, you know. What the fuck? Anyway, so I talked about it probably a year ago and I had so many people message me about it. Honestly, I think it helped so many women realize that F45 is a breeding ground for injuries. It literally is that type of place where they're literally rolling all over the floor. They're getting people to do bear climbs all over the floor and they're calling that a fucking workout when the only thing that is working out is your heart. Your cardio is up to the fucking sky. Your heart rate's 180 and you're now losing form and getting injured. Anyway, I have dabbled in all of that. I know about it. I've attended. I've been asked to instruct those classes. I've worked at gyms where it's actually funny. Let's go back and do a little bit of lore. So if you're new here, I used to work at 2 different gyms back in the day before I started my own business. One of them fucking loved me. I was killing the game there. I had amazing client retention, which still do. But if you know, you know, it's a lot of, okay, PT is a male dominated industry. Okay. So I just think that obviously when a female comes in and they click with you, they want to stay on. So there was obviously a minimum term for PT at this gym and I was always well past the minimum term with all my clients. The only reason I had most of my contracts end was because I quit. They didn't want to end. They didn't want me to go. They loved training with me and all of the things. And that's not me just saying that to make myself sound better. You just need to know the context. And they asked me to start taking on classes, which I didn't really want to do because I'm not passionate about classes because I really am passionate about good form and feeling the movement properly and being able to excel as an individual. I'm very individual focused. I love seeing women win and I love having that connection with them. I don't really like being in a class of 30 randos that don't know anything about me and I don't know anything about them. And then like the next day it's 30 other randoms. And I'm just like I just don't like that. I want to be a part of your journey and experience your journey with you and celebrate your wins and stuff. And which is why I've always gravitated towards one-to-one, which I find really interesting because I know some PTs personally who hate one-to-one. They don't want to be in a individual journey. They don't want to work with someone one-to-one. They don't know how to talk to someone one-to-one. And I'm like, okay, so I was a born yapper, so I was born to do this. Whereas they love classes and they love being able to, I almost want to say that classes is a step back of taking responsibility. One-to-one, you take responsibility for making sure you know exactly what that client's needs are, exactly what they're needing to do. If they have any injuries, like past injuries, like if they're working through anything, what's actually going on. Like you need to know all of that going into the session, and then you need to obviously program for that session and create stuff for that. Whereas in a class, you can just walk in, the program's done for you, and you just like literally read it off the board and motivate a group. So I don't love that. That is not my jam. So at the gym that I was really excelling at, they asked me to do those, and I said, honestly, I just like ethically don't feel comfortable coming into a class of 30 plus people and not being able to like physically watch them all, and someone potentially getting injured or someone potentially walking away thinking that was shit because they didn't feel it properly because I maybe didn't see them or whatever. I just don't want to take that responsibility. And when it's big enough that you're on a mic, then I just feel like, I don't even know. Okay. This is just always how I felt about it. I just feel like if you're on a mic and like people need the mic to hear you, it's too big of a class for you to be able to watch people, right? I don't know. But I'm sure you've probably walked into a class before, been in the back of the room, not really sure where you're supposed to feel the movement, not feeling very motivated, just feeling probably insecure and unfit and shaming yourself, when reality is they probably just weren't running it properly. Anyway, the funny thing about that and why you needed the background context of that and all of the things is because when I was working in them both at the same time, but I was wanting to leave one and go like predominantly stay at the other. And then when I approached them about taking classes and being there, they just were like, nope, you're not experienced enough, you're not good enough, all of these things. Come to find out, they're the biggest ageist fucks in the planet, and they have literally now, I don't even think I told you guys, the law and the tea, I haven't given you the update, which tells I'm just so mature nowadays. But on a serious note, they closed down, well, they were going to close down, sorry, and they sold off the gym. So everything I'm talking shit about is the past owners. I don't have anything to do with like the current owners and all of the things, but it's not like I'm naming and shaming on the potty right now anyway. But they were literally had no idea about anything in the industry. They had no qualifications, and I find it's always men purchase these gyms. They have no industry experience. They're the type of man that would probably sleep with all the fucking clientele, and they think that they're doing something in the industry. And I'm like, no, you're actually just disgusting. Can you put your dick away? Like seriously? Ugh. Anyway, they think they're doing something. So anyway, this guy said that I wasn't experienced enough. I didn't know what I was doing. And I just thought it was hilarious that your 2-bit piece of shit boutique gym, boutique, meaning like what, you have no members. Is that what boutique means? Yes. Thinks that I'm not good enough, but one of the biggest brands in a different suburb with, at the time, they had 4,000 to 5,000 members. So I can't even imagine how many they have now. Wants me. So I just think it's really, really funny. And if you're thinking, well, like, why didn't you go full time at the other place, just whatever? It's just so far from my house. Okay, guys. Like, I just wanted to be at the smaller, quiet community town one close to home. Like, I've now learned my lesson that nothing good happens around my area. Close to home is never, you can't grow in this community. You can't excel in this community. And even when I think about my clientele base, none of them live near me. So I have girls traveling up to an hour to have a session with me. So I'm blessed in the fact that 1, yes, I am good and I know I'm good. But 2, this community just sucks ass. So I should have not tried to hold on, but like, God forbid, lock up a girl for not wanting to drive that far to work every single day. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So I didn't like the classes there either. I just need to say that. They run the most fucked classes ever. I didn't like the concept of them. They were very cardio based. They weren't strength training. And I am very much for strength training. You guys already know. I've lost 20 kilos. When I was going through the PCOS journey and all of the things and struggling with my weight, I gained back 10 and then I lost that 10 again. This has all been from strength training and obviously a calorie deficit, but strength training has absolutely changed my body. I used to look so skinny fat. I was 55 kilos, but my body fat percentage was at 30+%. I didn't have any muscle on me at all, and I hated how I looked. And I don't think you realize, unless you've had this journey of you can lose 20 kilos and still hate how you look. Yeah. Fucking insane, right? And I just think that everyone's like, yep, you're going to lose weight and have your dream body. I'm like, no, not if you're not strength training and having a structured strength training routine that's built for you. And I've been in talks with so many of you like, I'm so busy, I don't have time. Okay, I see you, but can we just go to Kmart, get a couple dumbbells and do 15 minutes in our bedroom? Because 15 minutes in our bedroom with some little dumbbells is better than not going at all, right? But you don't need to run to a Pilates class. And one of my clients, before she signed up, she was talking about how, you know, she has been doing Pilates for like 5 to 6 years and she was just gaining heaps of weight. She was struggling with her PCOS. She could not find the answers. And you guys know, if you follow me on Instagram, it's Jess Hugo. You guys know that I talk a lot of shit about Pilates, not because of Pilates as a whole, but because I think strength training is the answer. No, I don't think. I know. Fuck, I keep doing this. I don't think. I fucking know. Strength training is the answer to having your dream toned body. Strength training is the answer to losing the weight, because we need to transform your body somehow. And I know it's confusing because you go on social media and you see these really tiny, think like Isabel Mathers, like she's like the face of CSB with like Rachel Dillon and stuff, tiny fucking waist, tiny fucking thighs, like literally tiny girls. And they're like, yeah, I just do Pilates. Oh my fucking God. You do Pilates and you also don't fucking eat anything, first and foremost, which is so dangerous to be putting out there. But Pilates is not the answer. So you guys know I talk shit on this, all of the things. But I was like, I need to take this one step further. 2 reasons that I've done this. 1, I've just started doing Pilates. Diabolical, I know. 2, I did it for flexibility, but also for research purposes. So I want to work on my flexibility and mobility and balance, because I definitely struggle with really tight hips. I can't even remember the fucking proper name right now. I'm not a physio, so I shouldn't have to know the name. But like alongside my thighs, I really need to do like a lot of hip hinge movements and clams and all of like kickbacks, like glute kickbacks, not cable kickbacks, to work on building the strength up, because my hip actually clicks when I do like leg raises and like core style workouts where you're moving your legs, because my hip grinds over my hip, if you will, and they just keep clicking back and forth every single time. It's uncomfortable. The noise makes me feel ick and I just don't like it. So I need to build up my strength in my hips and outside of my legs. So anyway, I wanted to go for that reason, but I was like, I actually want to do some research for the girlies. So I've only done like 5 classes at this point, and I don't want to be a hater, but it's not adding up. It is not adding up. I don't know if it's just like the studio. I don't know if this is like normal. Can we say this based off one studio experience? No, I should probably go to other studios and do different research, if you will. But this studio, it's not. Let me just get into it. It is not the instructors specifically. It's not the studio specifically. Like, I don't actually have all the answers, but let's talk. So I was supposed to do it with one of my good friends, and then she's just a busy gal. She works shift work. She's a busy gal. So our schedules just did not align. I went to the first class by myself. It was quite hard. I found it hard. Challenging though, not like too hard for me to do, but challenging. I actually had someone right next to me on the reformer next to me, and it was her first ever session, and I think she was brand new to training, and we were in the beginner class. This is the very, very bottom level class that you can join, and she was struggling, very much not aware on what the movements were, didn't know what to do, and I was like really just thinking about it, like not watching her, but like I could see her because she was right next to me, so I could see her out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, okay, what is missing here? Is it the instructor cues? Is it that she hasn't done anything before? But then it says it's a beginner class, and you can come into a beginner class without having to have done anything before, right? So I'm like, I'm so confused on this, and I just kind of kept analyzing it and thinking on it. And then in the next class that I did, again, I've done 5 different classes, 5 different instructors. So I've been trying to get a variety before forming this opinion. But I went into the next one and I thought it was good and I knew what I was doing, but I was looking around and again, people were doing things wrong. I can't even remember what it was, but we're like squatting and moving our arms. Bruh, I can't remember. And I also don't know all the fucking terms. They use the most whack names in Pilates too, so I don't even know. But I was watching other girls fully use momentum, pelvic tilt forward, everything. No one says anything. And I'm like, at what point is it almost gonna be an injury? They're going to be hurting tomorrow in the wrong places, probably their lower back, probably, their traps, because they're just like moving their arms and they're moving their whole body to actually move the movement, not actually feel it in their muscles. You know what I mean? Like anytime my clients move too quick, we're slowing them down straight away. Anytime they're pelvic tilting, I'm mentioning it straight away. They send me videos and straight away I'm like, yep, you got to suck in here to all this stuff. I understand, again, as I just said, in a class concept, it's so hard to go around a room and adjust everyone. I understand that. But at what point do you just say across the thing, like, yep, make sure that you suck in your like stomach and really like pull it in so that your pelvis isn't facing forward and tilting forward and that everything is in a tight line. Like, how hard is it to say that? I don't know. So there was that. And then we were doing movements, and I know what a shoulder press is. I know what overhead press is. I know what skull crushers is. Half the room didn't. Where was the prerequisite that you needed to understand terms and you needed to have strength trained before to know what you were doing? And again, I'm not blaming anyone, like whose fault is it, who knows? But I just think like maybe give a bit of warning, because I was like, if my shift work friend came, she's never strength trained in her life. She's never been in the gym in her life. So she actually would have felt really much like uncomfortable and awkward and out of place because she wouldn't have known what she was doing. And like, would it have then been my responsibility to cue her in the back? Not necessarily, but I would have wanted to cue her, because I would never want to be the person feeling like I'm uncomfortable and out of place in a class and I suck at something because I don't know what I'm doing, right? And then I was like to her, cool, let's do a strength training session. We did one, and I took her through everything, and I was like, you'll feel much better like if you come join Pilates now because of like everything we just went through. And I took her through the basics. I was like, but I genuinely like am kind of glad that our schedules didn't align, because I think you would have struggled. And not in a sense of, oh, she's so shit, no, because they didn't explain properly that you need to have some type of basis. And I'm like, so where, I don't even know where do you start then? Like, where do we draw the line of like, why don't they have a full beginner class where you don't even know movements? But then is it their responsibility? Would that be busy enough from a business sense to make sense financially for them to waste a whole time slot for potential beginners? I don't really know. I don't even know. I don't know where the line is. I don't know. I just feel so confused on all of it. Like, why are we saying something's beginner and then people like that are beginners are struggling in it? And then so where do beginners start if you can't start in group classes and you can't start in the gym by yourself? Where do you start? So I've been reflecting, like, where did I start? I started with an online coach and I watched videos of the exercises and just tried to copy that. It wasn't like a one-to-one, it was just like a coaching app. So I didn't get feedback, but I thought now, I guess I do help beginners and they send me videos and feedback, because the girl I was talking about before with Pilates, she's never strength trained. So what we've done is she's fully online. She doesn't even live in the States. So she's fully online with me. She watches me doing it. She does it. She'll send me videos for feedback form. And then we'll adjust from there and correct from there. And I don't necessarily think you need the luxury of being in one-to-one all the time in terms of like face-to-face, because I think a lot of people are like, I really want to work on my form, like I need a one-to-one PT. And I'm like, but you're going to pay so much more to be in a one-to-one PT, like in studio training, where you could actually just go down a more affordable route being in online, obviously, because it's not face-to-face, it's not time. You know what I mean? So I guess there's that. But then I almost sit here like, well, maybe that just sounds biased of me to say that you should go down a personal training in studio route. You know what I mean? Like, it just sounds biased because I am a PT that I'm telling you to go down a one-to-one route. But I talked to a new client the other day and she said that she had gone to a group fitness class, didn't realize it was HIIT, stood in the back, absolutely fucking struggled because HIIT is super high intensity and it's crazy, and she never went back. And she never went to the gym again. She like quit her gym membership because she was just like mortified at how much of a struggle it was. And then she obviously found me and is now working with me and all of the things. But she was like, I just like did not know where to start. I'm so new to all of it. I don't know what to do. And I see this with her as well. She consumes, and I know I just talked about this, and if you haven't listened to that episode, go back to what's keeping you stuck, how to make yourself unstuck, all of the things. But she was consuming all this content about how you need to have high protein meals and the perfect macro balance in every single meal, and how you need to be eating protein bars and having protein shakes, and you need to eat this and eat that. But she doesn't even know the first thing about calories and macros, which again, she's not wrong for. That's very normal not to know. I didn't know like 5 to 6 years ago, but she had no idea and was like, I'm just feeling really overwhelmed because I'm trying to do this high protein meal, but I don't understand anything about calories and macros. I'm so new to the gym and I don't know what I'm doing and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I need you to take a breath. What I want you to do is literally just upload the photos that upload photos of your food that you're eating right now, and we're going to work from there. We're going to literally just start at that starting point, because how the hell are you going to wake up one day and be like, cool, I'm going to start one-on-one training. I'm getting a gym membership. I'm going to go in the gym and do a whole strength training workout. I'm going to eat high protein meals, even though I don't even know what is considered high protein. I don't even know the macros in anything. I don't know what a carb is, a fat is, and a protein is, because we didn't get taught this at school. So it's so normal for you to not know. But how the hell are you going to go from nothing to that, right? That's so overwhelming. And that is exactly why everyone gets so stuck, and exactly why I'm very much like, I'm sitting on the side of you need to get a PT that also has nutrition qualifications. And honestly, I think online's the best way to go because you get more bang for your buck in terms of you can do 5 training sessions, send 5. One of my girls sends me form videos every single session. I think she sends me form videos like 4 to 5 days a week. And I go back and forth with her 4 to 5 days a week on correcting her form. And every week she's sending more and we're refining and refining. And her form has come such a long way. And I've never met her in my life. So let's not get caught up in like, I can't do it unless I'm like in a 1-to-1 capacity, because you can actually achieve so much through online. But I don't know how to sit here and talk about this without sounding fully biased. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. I'm going to bring stuff into the broadcast and you can reply to me there. But where are you sitting right now with all of it? Have you experienced going into a class and feeling out of place? Have you experienced going to something that says it's beginner and you feel like it's intermediate? Have you felt like you look like you have no idea what you're doing and you're too embarrassed to show face again? Have you got a gym membership running that you haven't attended in 6 to 12 months because you feel like you can't walk into that place because you have no idea what you're doing? Like, I would love to know where you're at with things right now, and I would love to talk back and forth with you, because I just am sitting here like, I think PT and strength training is the only outcome, but I don't know. Like, I know this conversation is a bit like silly, if you will, because it seems so one-sided, but I'm trialing these things to see, like, I was like, okay, cool, I'm open to, doing Pilates to see, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it is really good, but it doesn't meet you where you're at. Even I was in there and I was struggling, bitch. My legs were shaking because everything is very intentional and movement and balance and coordination, right? And I was really struggling on like this lunge, push, kickback combo. I don't know what they're fucking called. And my leg was shaking. My balance was getting tested. I was like getting really hot. I feel like I get really hot when stretching and stuff in general, but I was getting really hot. I was looking around. No one's struggling. No one's like shaking. And I'm like, okay, I either suck or everyone is doing this wrong. And then I'm looking around and it's true. People aren't doing their lunge properly. They're not leaning over their quad properly because they haven't got this foundation through strength training. And this is not me like judging girls. Like, I wasn't like, oh my God, look at her doing it wrong. But I was thinking, is everyone else dying with me? And then no one else is dying. And I'm like, okay, so I'm the problem. And then that's where I started like kind of analyzing. To be fair, out of all the classes, I went to one she was really good. She came and adjusted my form on something that I'd never done before. And I was like appreciative of the fact that she showed me how to adjust it. And I saw her going around and adjusting other people. And then what happened was when we switched sides, because it's like you do one side, do a bunch of stuff, and then you go to the other side, we had to rush through the second side. And the next class was like coming in, like people were coming in for the next class because she spent so much time on form. So I was like, well, maybe there's not enough time to work on form. But as far as I'm aware, this place don't even offer private one-to-ones. And like, do they even care? Because I went to one the other day and she did not care. She did not adjust anyone. She did not talk to anyone about anything. She gave no fucks to give. And I almost wanted to like give her a constructive review, because I was like, at what point do you take some responsibility? If you're going to instruct a class, it takes beyond you standing in the room and holding your hands in the air and saying, yep, we're going to do an overhead press. No, babe, get your fucking ass on the reformer and show me how to do it, or demo it with someone who's advanced in the class. What the fuck? I don't know, guys. I just think it's really odd. I'm going to give you a story time about this guy, the local gym to me, because I was actually disgusted about what he did, and it goes in that same topic of that one. But I'm going to leave it there for this episode, so go to the podcast. Go to the broadcast. They need to change the names. They're too similar and I'm stuffing it up in my head. Go to the broadcast for the story time on this guy, because I have some tea to share. If you love this episode, make sure to rate the podcast 5 stars. It helps me get the podcast out there. It's Jess Hugo on Instagram. Share your stories with me. Love you, and I'll see you next week. Mwah.